Okay, hi, I'm Michael Wilson Barber. This is my YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. Click the link below. My t-shirt company is called Skooka Merch, by the way. I'm selling t-shirts. So, I'd like to review my first album. One of the first albums that I ever owned, and that's 1983 Zebra. I don't know how many copies this album sold, but it made it like into the 20s on the charts. It is one of the first albums I ever owned. I owned in 1983. I was 12, so I started buying my own albums. I owned this album. I owned Def Leppard, Pyromania, Quiet Riot, and I think AC/DC, Flick of the Switch, and Diver Down by Van Halen were like my first 5 or 6 albums. Oh, and Fastway, which I'll review that album too sometime. Anyway, this is the original copy that I have from 1983. Therefore, it is 39 years old. Zebra is a band from New Orleans. You have this guy, Felix Henneman, on bass and piano and keyboards, and he also did backup vocals. You had Randy Jackson on lead guitar and vocals, and then you had a drummer, Guy Gelso. Again, they're from New Orleans. They went to New York and apparently spent a lot of time in Long Island playing gigs for several years. They had a lot of their own original material. But they were a three-piece band, not unlike Rush. They're a little bit prog rock. They, when Randy Jackson sings, sometimes he hits those high notes, kind of like Geddy Lee. And interestingly enough, the drummer, Guy Gelso, looks a little bit like Geddy Lee. The bass player, I wouldn't say looks exactly like Alex Lifeson, but he does have like the long blonde hair like Alex Lifeson. But they were writing their own material. They got this deal with Atlantic, and they had 2 singles, Who's Behind the Door and Tell Me What You Want. And Who's Behind the Door was their biggest single, from what I recall. And they had a video on MTV, didn't get a lot of airplay. It was cheaply made. I think they also had a video of Tell Me What You Want. But I don't think I've seen that one. So on side 1, well, let me show you what the album looks like. From a lot of albums in the early 80s, mid 80s, had the lyrics on the sleeve, on the inside, and like I said, they were with Atlantic. And here's side 1 of this Atlantic album. Side 2, I played side 1 a lot more than side 2, although I did play side 2, and I'll explain why. Side 1 was really rocking. I just liked it a lot. And that's part of the reason I still have this album, because it was just a good rock and roll album. And again, they were kind of prog rock, a little bit like Rush in a way. Moving Pictures, I think, is also one of the earliest albums that I ever owned. But again, this is my original copy of Zebra, and that's the name of the band, and that's the name of their first album. On side 1, it's Tell Me What You Want, One More Chance, Slow Down, as I said before, and Who's Behind the Door. Okay, very strong. Side 1, very, very strong. Side 2, When You Get There, Take Your Fingers From My Hair, Don't Walk Away, and the La La Song. Again, all original material. Good album. Their second album was called Tellin' No Lies, or No Tellin' Lies, and it had a chess piece on it. What's that called? A knight chess piece. Their third album was 3.5 in 1986, which I actually won free backstage passes to see Zebra in concert from KC95 in St. Louis in 1986, and I was 15 years old, and my parents wouldn't let me go, so I had to sell them to someone else. And then they didn't make a 4th album until 2003 maybe. It's called Zebra 4. They have a few live albums. So I don't know what exactly happened with Zebra, if they just kind of ran out of material, or they got burned out, or you know, life on the road and all that stuff. But this is a wonderful album. There are other albums I haven't enjoyed as much as this one, but they're still a good band. I wish I could have met them and had gone to the concert with the free backstage passes, but I was too young. So anyway, that's Zebra, and that's my first album review. I do not think you can get this on CD. I just looked on eBay. I don't see any copies of this on CD. So if you want to listen to Zebra, you have to either go to YouTube or get it on vinyl. So I'm not going to sell my copy. So anyways, Bob Ross says, take care. God bless. Bye.